Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. We're looking back. Over a week ago, the guys got in a lobby with I think it's the Viper GT3. I'd hazard a guess, it could be the 4. I don't know, I couldn't find the information. It's been taken down off Discord, so we're going in dry, we're going in blind. And this could be anything, I could be wrong. I think it's Group 3s, but they look big, don't they? Like a Group 3. But yes, they had themselves a little Viper race at Trial Mountain, 2 30-minute races. I don't know what the settings were with the tyres and that. We're all going to find out together. But yes, a week last Friday they had this race, and now I'm bringing it at you because Big Dan just keeps hounding me about it. I'm just eating a lovely wine gum at the moment. Very tasty. We'll look at the grid. Let me get rid of the wine gum. That was a bad choice. So the Group 3 cars, Vipers, Dodge Vipers, here at Trial Mountain. Oh my gosh. There goes the wine gum. And after a certain amount of qualifying, Talleyrand looks to be on pole position with the Racing Soft tyre. Then we have Racer Brown second fastest with also the Racing Soft tyre. Digi on the medium tyre, starting on the medium tyre, third fastest with Homesick Alien on the medium tyre also. Starting on the next row is in fourth. Big Dan in fifth, also opting for that medium tyre with the Baz also on the medium tyre. Then we have Bandit on the medium tyre also. So it's only the front two and Jocus. Now we can try and have a look. I'll try and have a look, but I don't know. It's a one-off race, so their liveries are all sort of over the place. Right, that's Talleyrand. We remember that. He's on the Racing Soft tyre. It's very clean looking. Nice Dodge Viper Trial Mountain. Looks like this. It looks lush. They're all dossing around in the pits. No one seems to be doing anything important. Is he fiddling with himself? No. He's wearing gloves. But yeah, he's looking cool. Do you know it's really dark, mate? You're wearing sunglasses and it's really, really dark out there. Look, they've got their headlights on and the lights up there are on. But you're wearing sunglasses, so yeah, bully you, mate. He's pulling a pose, isn't he, over there? Hello. Hello, sailor. So the pit wall looking very good, yes. He's earwaxing. Also in sunglasses. Maybe it's brighter than the camera reveals. Anyway, so Talleyrand's car looks sweet as a nut there, looking all matte black and red. Then we move on to Mr. Brown in the grey and loomy yellow, like it's the 80s. And he's throwing his hands up high. Acid, acid. It's looking good. Then we have the Digital Blast for me there in third place, looking sleek. And like Neil from The Matrix, he's got the code. He's got the code, people. It looks sweet. I want to turn me down because that's distracting. But you can hear me, so that's all good. Then it was Homesick Alien in the Martini Dodge, and it looks fantastic. So we're getting acclimatised to whose car is what for when they race 30 minutes around Trial Mountain. Then you can't miss Ensign Hewitt, Big Dan. He's in the Rich Energy, and that looks very pristine, that one. I don't know if it's a download or it's a one he had a little play with himself, but it's fantastic. Then who was after Big Dan? 74. Is that Bazza? It's the Baz. It's the Baz. He's got a lovely mellow yellow. He's gone all Days of Thunder on us. And that looks fantastic. Then after that, we had 63. I want to say Bandit. I'm going to say Bandit. And that is a nice looking car. From the Bandit. And then that finally leaves Jocas in the Monkey Garage. Liveried Viper. Gas Monkey, sorry. There we go. That's everyone. That's the lineup. Let's get on. Kaboom! Waiting for the lights there to light up, and it's gonna be a furious 30-minute racing now as the Talleyrand and Racer Brown pull away. They're both on the soft tyre, so you would expect them to absolutely pelt it from the boys behind. And the battle there between Digi and Homesick, side by side nearly through that first corner. But Digi just about gets ahead. But Homesick Alien up the inside. These are definitely Group 3s. Look how swift they are. And also joining the party is Big Dan there on the inside of the Alien. They're all bunched up. Bandit ahead of the Baz. And the Baz is ahead of Jokers. Meanwhile, Talleyrand and Racer Brown pull away on their soft tyres from Digi, who's got a little bit of breathing space from Homesick Alien. Through the mountain they go here under the tunnel, swinging it to the left. Homesick Alien, Bandits up into 5th as Homesick Alien gives the entry a little nudge. That one, and there we see Bandit, Big Dan, Bazza and Jokers all in a line, all waiting for something to happen. And it's getting lighter out there, so it was early morning light. That's why that dude had his sunglasses on. He was ready. He knew it was going to be a sunny day. So Big Dan on Bandit. He was having a look. Has he got better momentum coming out of the corner, coming through the deep forest? It's Trial Mountain, isn't it? I can't remember now. Deep Forest or Trial Mountain. I've used both of them. So Big Dan, we'll see when they go past the finish and start line. Big Dan is going to go for a move on the Bandits here. Up the inside, it's going to be tight, and he thinks better of it, stays out of it. Goes through the chicane quite neatly, and Talleyrand still leads the race here. And it looked like Racer Brown was just trying to cling on to his Viper, getting down on the throttle, and that's let Digi get very close indeed to Racer Brown, with Homesick Alien back there in 4th spot, and he's pulled away from Bandit somewhat as Bandit has to deal with Big Dan all up in his busyness. And then we got the Bazza keeping Jokers at bay, and Jokers up for a bit of action here with the Big Dan, Big Baz man who's not Dan, and they're all out of control under the bridge, and Jokers has nudged the wall, and Bazza had a good run because he's right there with Big Dan and Baz. I think there was contact between the Baz and Dan. Very lippy now. So, and Barry lifting accordingly to let Big Dan carry on, but Bandit gets a march now on Big Dan, with Homesick Alien drawing closer to Digi, whom has drawn closer to Racer Brown. Racer Brown's back in the zone, back under the wing, and this long straight giving them that beautiful toe. He's going for the move on Talleyrand into the first corner, and Talleyrand's got that inside line, and he might just survive this one, and he does, but I'm sure Racer Brown doesn't he have advantage in the next corner? No, he doesn't, and the Talleyrand's Dodge Viper pulls slightly more ahead of Racer Brown, but it's very close knit racing here. The two soft tyres not getting away from the mediums. Look at these. The mediums only over 2 laps are on pace with the racing soft boys. So interesting stuff. And Racer Brown then going for an inside move on Talleyrand, and it's going to be a tight corner now. Talleyrand's got the advantage on the inside here, and he keeps it, and he's through. Beautiful stuff. Racer Brown. Homesick Alien's got the move done on Digi. He must have done it in that corner, because Digi was ahead of him. Let's have a look how it was done. Homesick Alien swings it through. It's tight stuff between the two of them. Yes, and Homesick elbows out around the outside, and he won't be held up. He's chasing down those two leaders, with Talleyrand and Racer Brown knowing that their tyres will go off before the end of the race. I don't know what the strategies are. I don't know what the tyre wears are. But at the moment, Digi 4th, Homesick 3rd. Then we've got Bandit all on his own in 5th spot. And Bazza there having a massive battle with Big Dan. He's got by Big Dan now. Big Dan slipping down into 3rd place in the black gold rich energied Dodge Viper, and Jokers on the Gas Monkey trying to stick to the back of the queue, with Talleyrand leading from Racer Brown. So tight, so close, on board with the Digital Blasphemy as we look around his cockpit, chasing down the top 3. Unbelievable stuff. 30 minutes of racing. We're only 5 minutes in, only just virtually, and we are hunting, and it looks like Racer Brown's going for a move on Talleyrand. He's got it done again in the tow zone, and it's a Racer Brown that's just drawn slightly ahead, but Talleyrand's going to late break it on the inside. No, he hasn't got it. Yes, he has. And Racer Brown again, another failed attempt into the same corner. He just cannot get the grip around the outside of that corner, and Talleyrand gets him on the inside every time, and it's a learning curve for these boys. And again, Racer Brown having another look at the outside of Talleyrand, but it's just not to be done there, as Homesick Alien has to defend his line from Digital Blasphemy, who is still in this race. Bandit all by himself, playing on his own, and there we go, the big battle between the Big Dan and the Baz, and Big Dan's back at the Baz, and he's through and he's up, and it's Big Dan into 6, but Bazza is not giving up on this one, and he's floating like a butterfly around the outside of Big Dan, but the line isn't there, so he tucks in behind to get a lovely toe up to the first corner. Talleyrand then just ahead of Racer Brown, and it's tight for first, second and third and fourth, absolutely up each other's chuffs, as Bandit on his own, and Digi looking to get that podium back from the Alien he had before. Racer Brown looking for the win, and he's got an itchy finger that he can feel, and he needs to itch it. But Talleyrand at the moment playing the boss, and it's all about tyres. It's all about the tyres in this race. I don't know what the rules were, but these two are on softs, the rest are on mediums. It might have been a judgment call, free choice. There might be a mandatory tyre in this, I'm not sure until the pit stops happen. Ensign Hewitt in the chat saying, Vipers, woohoo, thank you for the double streams today, Thingy, what a legend. Bazza saying, wow, 2 in 1 day, going strong, Thingy. Bazza also said, sad that I couldn't do second race, bloody work got in the way, kill, kill, kill. Ensign Hewitt saying, this was such a great event, loved racing the Trial Mountain. Car was a bit understeery but at first, but once I got the hang of it, it was awesome car. A series of these would be lots of fun. So Talleyrand at the moment trying to keep a Racer Brown at bay, and Homesick Alien with the medium tyres is on pace with the two leaders. Interesting stuff that the soft tyres are not lasting longer than we expected. Digi's dropping back from the Alien now, and Bandit again all by himself. Big Dan ahead of the Baz, and the Baz, he's got a bit of space from Jokers behind, but not a lot. He can't mess about too much, and he's driving that advertisement hoarding around like a pro. The tyres seem to be wearing similar for the mediums and the soft tyre. Talleyrand there, just getting the fastest lap of the race of 51.1, down to a quarter of a tank of fuel. We're nearly 8 minutes into the race, and Racer Brown on another assault here in his Viper. Oh, he's going for the move before the straight. Way before the straight, he's realised, trying to get him on the straight in the toe, and again a lovely line through that corner, and he gets the business done on Talleyrand, and it's done. He closes the door, and now it's in, the ball is in Talleyrand's court on what to do next, and Racer Brown takes the lead of the race. Meanwhile, Homesick Alien and Digi queuing up to give Talleyrand a quite difficult time, and we question, is it tyres? We don't think it is though, those tyres still look fresh, bruv. And Racer Brown, his tyres are a little more worn than Talleyrand's as we go down to the, and the toe's working. Racer Brown's gone very defensive very early. Talleyrand's come out of the toe, but it's worked for Racer Brown, but he's slid out to the outside of the track, giving Talleyrand the opportunity to get up the inside, and Talleyrand shows Racer Brown how that corner is done. And Racer Brown considers himself schooled. After a few attempts of his own at Talleyrand in that corner, Talleyrand does it straight away. Unbelievable stuff. Beautiful. Talleyrand leads from Racer Brown. Digital Blasphemy also getting the move done on the Alien. Oh, I mean, they're half-hour races, my friends. I mean, I can't be here all night. I've got a pit stop to do, and I still want to play a bit of Ark and have dinner. But there we see in the long sweeping corner, Digi gets the up the inside of the Alien, and it was an easy move in the end for Digi. And is that down to tyre wear? Possibly. His tyre wear's a little better than the Alien's, but not much. Maybe just braver on the brakes. Bandit then, is he catching those guys ahead? It does seem it. As they're bunching up, I think Bandit is closing the gap on the front runners. And Big Dan following him through, 51.9, strong time from Big Dan there. And now he can see Bandit in his view screen. And he's going to be all guns blazing for the Flying Dutchman as soon as he can reach him. And as soon as he gets in the tow zone, it's going to be dangerous. And we still don't know what's going to happen with the tyres. Bazza out there in 7th. It's dropped away from Ensign Newitt somewhat, and Jokus has dropped away from the Baz. Talleyrand, though, he just cannot shake that pesky Racer Brown away. Car 86 all up, and it looks beautiful, the red and the yellow on both of the Vipers as they duke it out. One matte, one shiny. It's delicious. Digi still ahead of the Alien, Homesick Alien there. We're 10 minutes into the first 30 minutes race, 2 30-minute races today. And it's a lot for them to process in this, with these cars so fast around Trial Mountain, I believe. Racer Brown saying, wait until the tyres go off. And Racer Brown says, hello. Hi, Racer Brown. How are you? You're having a cracking race with Talleyrand at the moment. Digi then. Oh, he's close. He's going for the move. Coming out of the corner. He's going to stay with him through this wiggly bit. Try and get him down the straight, I assume. Looking back, there's Digital Blasphemy with Homesick Alien. And Bandit is not on the back of him yet, but he's not too far away. I think also Big Dan is definitely catching up with the back of Bandit. And this is some interesting racing we've got going here. Very juicy indeed. And there's close stuff here between Talleyrand and Racer Brown. And Racer Brown then wants to get out on this straight, get it strong, get that accelerator down, a little nudge with the barrier. He seems to have come out of the corner a lot better than Talleyrand. He's closed the gap on him. And can he get something in the first corner? And there he goes, pulls out of the slipstream. He's going for the move. And it started from the final corner. There's, oh no, he's knocked the barrier, he's knocked Talleyrand, and Digital Blasphemy's on the scene, and Racer Brown is trying to keep Digi behind, but Digi is through. The next man is Homesick Alien, and Racer Brown is carrying a little bit of aero damage on the front there, so he'll be losing some of that front downforce, making the car very understeery for a couple of corners, and 2 positions down now, and he's got out of it, and he's just, look at his tyres as well, they're pretty much worn out. Talleyrand's still got some life on his tyres, but it's all action. Oh no, what happened there? Talleyrand hit the wall. Digi is making his way through, and Homesick Alien claims the position. And I don't know what happened with Talleyrand. I wasn't paying too much attention. Sorry guys. Comes in to the bridge. He's doing an absolute superb job at the moment. Out wide, he knocks onto the wall, and oof. And he had Digi behind him helping. And then Homesick Alien snips on through and takes the lead away from the lot of them. But it's still a long way to go yet. With Digital Blasphemy in second, Talleyrand in third, Racer Brown back behind his old foe. But their tyres are going, and the medium runners are happy to carry on with a 12.5 minutes showing on the clock, 30 minutes to race. There's a long way in this race. Can we see Bandit yet behind? Oh no, we can't see the rear with this one. It's also very tight up the front here, but Bandit not so alone as he was. He's very close to those leaders now as Big Dan tries to draw close to him. Bazza unfortunately slipping away from the pack and losing that toe down the straight. There's a yellow flag. Who is it for? It's Talleyrand. Oh my G Lord. Talleyrand in 2 laps it's all gone to pieces for him. It's the tyres. It must be the tyres as he comes around. And we're around coming up to the final corners of this lap, and should he have put it into the pits? Let's have a look. Oh, there you go. The back end just wanted to come round and say hello, and that has put Talleyrand off and into the barrier, moving Racer Brown up into third, Bandit in fourth, Big Dan's got fifth, and the Bazza just not close enough to get that position. Well, he is going to get that position from Talleyrand. Talleyrand's still limping. Oh, and he's gone again. The tyres are absolutely gone. It's like the old days. It's not that they just slow down and get you back. They absolutely have no grip whatsoever and just spin you out. And is that a whole lap he's got to do on those tyres? He's gone past the pit lane and he must be very distraught as he's got Jokus closing in. Homesick-Alien in the lead with Digi in second place. Bandit now up into third. Racer Brown's tyres must have gone. Racer Brown carrying some damage there. Let's have a look. So Racer Brown was running in third. These soft tyres are causing such a commotion out there. And you would have thought that their engineers would have known such a thing. And under the top of the hill, the car just unbalances itself. The centre of gravity goes to the back, and the back loses it. And that is Racer Brown slipping down the order. And it's all change at the front. And it's the medium tyre runners that are grinning from ear to ear now. And again, it's a long lap to go around with a set of dead tyres. And they'll be even worse now they've been off the road. And Bazza smiling from ear to ear, another scalp. And as Jokus has got past Talleyrand, so Talleyrand's woes going from worse to worse. Homesick-Alien, though, still in the lead from Digital Blasphemy. And Digital Blasphemy wants to close the gap on the Martini Viper. And there's a lot of chat going on. Let's get to the chat. Racer Brown saying it was good. Bandit saying good evening. Kinetic Neutron saying good stuff. Bandit saying forgot that I drove this car. And Racer Brown saying back end went in braking and went into the barrier. And Bazza said oops, mixed up my races. This was only one. No, it's two races, two 30-minute races, I'm afraid. And Digital Blasphemy then all up in Homesick-Alien's business. And Bandit now in third. Oh yeah, he did, because Racer Brown fell off the road. And Bandit looking good for a podium position. Big Dan was trying to close the gap on him. And Big Dan, is he taking it into the pits? Big Dan has gone into the pits. Bandit carrying on. And then Racer Brown obviously takes his into the pits. Bazza, he decides nay on the pit stop. He's going to carry on. He's happy with what he's got. Jokus, what's he going to do? The front guy's obviously happy to carry on. And Jokus looks like he's carrying on as well. But Talleyrand is having an absolute nightmare on those tyres. And Digital Blasphemy is ahead of Homesick. Did we see that? So here we are. Homesick-Alien gets a little wobbly out of the accelerating zone of the last corner. Has a rear wiggle on. And Digital Blasphemy just cruises on by. And into the lead. Cracking stuff there from Digital Blasphemy with Homesick-Alien in second. Bandit is in third. Big Dan's pitted. He was the first, was he not? No, he's just pitted. Racer Brown is still not at his box yet. Jokus, he went on by, and I don't know if that was the wise thing to do. And Talleyrand is having an atrocious time at the moment on those tyres, and he just wants to get to the pit lane. Digital Blasphemy has pulled an absolute, a humongous gap out on Homesick-Alien. Homesick-Alien's tyres are pretty much more worn than Digital Blasphemy, and Digital Blasphemy absolutely flying in the Group 3 Viper. And Bandit in a solid third place there with Big Dan making his pit stop, promotes Bazza, and there's a yellow. Oh, it's Homesick-Alien. His tyres, is it his tyres? His tyres, is it the front one, the front right is looking pretty tough. And that is asking the front, oh, he knocked the barrier, it spun him round. And that puts Bandit lovely up into a position. What about the Baz? He's got yellow flags, he's coming round, he's seeing a lot of tyre smoke in the tunnel. He comes in, drives through the tyre smoke, sees Homesick-Alien to his left. Homesick-Alien then coming out to defend, but he just hasn't got the momentum. And that's Bazza, who, let's remember, was 7th not that long ago, is now up and into third place. But Bazza's front right tyre, nothing on that at all. It's got no meat, it's got nout. So Homesick-Alien also with the same issues with that front right tyre is going to find a way past Bazza, surely. Bazza's got no grip. Bandit also not much grip, and the person who's looked after the tyres the most is Digital Blasphemy, and he is looking after those tyres a delight. Racer Brown then back out on a set of medium tyres, and Bandit takes his Viper in on his mediums. And Racer Brown saying, think Talleyrand was getting hounded by the kids. There you go. So Talleyrand had a little bit of outside distraction. And Digital, a blasphemy. It's all right, Talleyrand, they grow up and ignore you. Then you don't get hounded by them ever. Unless it's time to feed them. So everyone else is into the pit stops. Bandits, Homesick, Bazza. Racer Brown may have gained positions out of this one. Even though he had a massive off, I think Homesick Alien may have lost a position to Mr. Brown. Well, Homesick Alien's still in the pits. And even Bandit is out ahead. Interesting stuff. Homesick Alien, he's gone to the soft tyre. He was on the mediums, wasn't he? So he has gone to the soft tyre. We're only 12 minutes left of racing. He hasn't put more fuel. So Bandit, how Bandit has jumped Homesick Alien. I'm not quite... Oh, Homesick Alien had that massive spin. I apologise. Yes. Homesick Alien had the massive spin in the under the tunnel, didn't he? And he's not that far ahead of Baz. And Big Dan then is chasing down Bandit on the mediums. Bandit's on the softs, but they could go before the end of the race. Digital Blasphemy still yet to pit, and Racer Brown on a fresh set of mediums is putting in some strong lap times, chasing down Digital Blasphemy. He's getting purples. Outlap for Bandit in third place ahead of Big Dan, but Big Dan can see the back end of Bandit, and he is chasing. Medium tyres ahead of him is Bandit on softs, Racer Brown's on mediums. Digital Blasphemy is probably going to put a set of softs on. I'm guessing that's the way the rules are. I haven't seen anyone double stack their tyres, so maybe they've just got to use the two compounds. I'm not sure. Homesick Alien out and on the softs. He had that big spin. He's just ahead of the Baz, who's also on the softs. So it's a straight fight between the Alien and Baz. Big Dan on the mediums, just ahead of him. Could be in trouble come the end of the race if the soft tyres can last. We've seen them burning themselves out rather rapidly. And there we see Joker's out on a set of softs as well. With Talleyrand, he's double. No, he started on the softs, didn't he? So he's gone out onto a set of mediums. All eyes on Digital Blasphemy. Racer Brown did go faster than anyone else, even though it's a set of medium tyres. And Digital Blasphemy must know he is losing ground, losing humongous ground. If Racer Brown's pulling 2 seconds a lap on him with those old tyres, it might be nice going late into the race, but at this very current time, Racer Brown is just gaining, and there still has to be stoppage time for Digital Blasphemy, and he must be wary that Racer Brown is closing the gap on him, and he won't have time to make that pit stop. Digi is in. He's pulled the trigger. Excuse me. So Racer Brown looked poised to take the lead of this race, possibly. I don't know how far back he is. Maybe not. Has Digi got going again? No, Digi is... Where is he? Where's the red thing? They don't show you when they're in the pits. Oh, yeah, I see him. He's along straight. He's just got to his pit grid. And Racer Brown coming through the final 2 corners. Now, Digital Blasphemy will be going to the soft tyre, where Racer Brown is on the medium tyre. And although he's doing good pace at the moment, there we go. They've released Digital Blasphemy. Racer... What the bleeming heck? And I think Digital Blasphemy didn't even lose the lead. No, he didn't. He's out into the lead, onto the soft tyre, and there is nothing Racer Brown can possibly do except for lose the front end nearly through that first section of corners. And oh, he is catching a little bit. Digi's tyre's a little cold as he hits the track. But the racing softs, you would think, will pull away from the mediums. They didn't right away, though. If you remember, at the beginning of the race, it took the soft tyres a couple of laps to start really showing what they could do. And Racer Brown already getting 50s out of those mediums, he could put a race in. Bandit in a solid third, but Big Dan is closing the gap. Bandit did a 51.4 last time around. Big Dan did a 51.5. There's nothing in it between the two of them. Big Dan is on the hunt, and Big Dan is looking for a Dutch scalp before the end of this race. Is out, sorry. So Racer Brown on Digi. That's a close race we've got on track at the moment, but it looks like Digi has got those tyres up to temperature and he's on his way, pulling out a small gap between himself and Racer Brown. Bandit is finding that gap closing between himself and Big Dan. Big Dan closer than he's ever been to the Bandit so far in this race. The Group 3 Dodge Vipers looking absolutely delicious here at Trial Mountain for this one-off event. The Viper Festival, VRC presents, and they presented well, as they always do. And there we go, a Big Dan hunting for Bandit as they go through the final section and onto the straight. We've got 7 minutes left of racing here. Digital Blasphemy is your leader. Excuse me, from Racer Brown, but Digital Blasphemy is on the soft tyres. Racer Brown's on the medium. Bandit in third, and I believe he's on the medium tyre also. No, he's on the soft, and maybe the soft's starting to go away from him. There looks like there's a lot still left on that tyre, but I don't know. I haven't played GT7 or long or well enough to really grasp what the tyre situation is at the moment, but Big Dan has definitely closed that gap, and he looks like he's set to steal a podium from a certain Dutchman. And Homesick Alien, 5th place after his huge spin in the tunnel. He lost a lot of ground. He's managed to stay ahead of the Baz, but he just can't catch up with Big Dan. Bazza is there. He's dropped away from the Alien, but he's way ahead of Jokus. And Talaran, we saw he had a woes on one of his laps. Digital Blasphemy, though, it looks like it's all going his way. He's pulling away from Racer Brown quite easily, although Racer Brown still holds the fastest lap of the race. And it's Bandit who has got a cold sweat on at the moment, as Big Dan tries to close the gap on him and the third spot in this race. And we have got 5.5 minutes left of racing on the board, and it could be anyone's game here for third spot as Big Dan chases down Bandit, and it's getting smaller and smaller, the size between them, the gap. Oh, big lift from Big Dan there. He didn't want to lose the back end, and Bandit getting out of that corner a lot more sensible and a lot more neater. As they go across, Bandit did a 51.9, Big Dan did a 52.1, so Bandit just a little faster at the moment. Homesick Alien a 50.2, so both of those they might have to concern themselves with Homesick Alien on the soft tyres behind them, gaining on them. Racer Brown did a 54.1. He must have made a huge mistake on lap 13. And Digital Blasphemy at 50.9. Still not the fastest lap of the race, but Digital Blasphemy on his way there for sure. As we have 4 minutes left of racing here, and Racer Brown trying everything he can to throw at Digital Blasphemy, but it looks like Digital Blasphemy has got this one all sewn up. Lovely. Bandit is the man at risk, but he's on those soft tyres and he's faster than Dan. But Big Dan is tenacious in his racing, and he is not giving up on that spot, with Homesick Alien now firmly in view of the two of them. And we can see it all unfold in front of us, sitting in 5th place with Homesick Alien. The Baz 6th behind us, with Jokers in 7th and Talaran, but them three are all spaced out, and the closest battle on the track we have is this: Bandit, Big Dan and Homesick Alien. Let's just sit back and enjoy. Bazza in the chat saying, need to stay off the booze. Don't even know when I raced last week. And Racer Brown saying, didn't fuel enough. Whoops. Oh, did he? Oh, is that why you're doing slower laps? You've backed off. I see. On board with Homesick, just sliding the front end of that Viper in like it just had no grip whatsoever. Look at the understeer that he's struggling with here as he chases down Bandit and Big Dan, who are in a battle of their own. Racer Brown, as he's already said, hasn't fueled enough, so he's really backed off. And is there a chance that Bandit and Big Dan can catch a Racer Brown before? Bandit's on a low fuel though. Bandit might be in the same position as Racer Brown, and Big Dan could get himself a podium here. He's very close. Homesick Alien fancies it as well. Bazza all on his own in 6th place, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't even remember doing it. Jokus in 7th with Talleyrand in 8th. Talleyrand low on fuel also, and it's Digital Blasphemy really is the man. He's got the fastest lap of the race also, and he's done a superb job. Hasn't put a foot wrong. Racer Brown saving fuel to the line. We're at 28 minutes. There's still 2 minutes left of racing. And yeah, I don't know. Racer Brown, can he eke another lap out of that car? Bandit also low on fuel, but I think he's got another lap in it. And Big Dan throwing everything he's got. But he fueled up quite heavy, didn't he, really? He's still got a quarter of a tank of fuel, so he overfueled. Homesick Alien chasing them down with a lighter car. And it's very tight, so Racer Brown having to ease right off. He doesn't go in this lap. Digital Blasphemy crosses the line, which will probably be his final lap, a 49.9. He's unstoppable, is Digital Blasphemy. And there is a Racer Brown cruising on with Bandit in 3rd, still with that Big Dan problem. But he's got it covered. It seems, as soon as I hear the screeching tyres, I worry. Homesick, no, he's all right as well. On board with a Big Dan. Last minute of racing happening now. It's Digital Blasphemy in the lead from Racer Brown. We are chasing Bandit with Big Dan in 4th spot. Bandit looking like he's struggling with a bit of grip in that corner. And Racer Brown having to ease off because of fuel, and we thought we might see them catch up with Racer Brown on this lap, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And Racer Brown's 2nd place looks safe for now. And Big Dan, frustration, can't get into the toe, can't catch Bandit up. Those soft tyres keeping Bandit alive there. Racer Brown are really easing off the fuel. Bandit is closing in. How far through the lap? We've still got quite a way of the lap to go. Can Racer Brown keep this one going? Digital Blasphemy is coming into the final part of the track, into the final sector, the last chicane, as he comes up onto the straight, and it's a huge win for Digital Blasphemy in the Dodge Viper. Great drive from Digital to get that win. Superb stuff. Where's the line? There it is. With Racer Brown does manage to keep that car going all the way to the end, and a superb job. I think he's run out of fuel now. He's just cruising to the line, and there he goes for 2nd place. Bandit, take a boo, my son. He kept Big Dan behind him and grabs that 3rd place with Big Dan in 4th. Homesick Alien grabs himself 5th spot there with the Baz. Oh, Talleyrand managed to get ahead of the Jokus at some point in that race, and the Baz comes home. His tyres absolutely worn to buggery, and he crosses the line for 6th spot. Well raced, well earned. Talleyrand had an adventure in this race, and he is going to grab himself a 7th spot for his efforts. It could have been a lot more, but he had that one lap where he was either bugged by the kids or had a few spins on the really horrible tyres. But, doesn't even get to cross the line. Sorry, guys. And then Joker's coming home in 8th. Oh, what? I've got a private message on Discord. No, I'm going to go and play Ark. And I've got pit stop. My rig's not set up. So, what am I doing? I'm going to collection. These are all the excuses why I can't help Binko do something on. If there's anyone out there who's got GT7 turned on, Binko wants a hand with something. He wants a hand in a lobby. Right, this is race 2, isn't it? So race 2, I am assuming, reverse grid situation. And and now we're going into the second race. Oh my God, 30 minutes with just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. Yeah, Bazza, you did scoot off. Who else scooted off? Everyone scooted off. It's Big Dan's. Oh, Big Dan's still there. Digi. Right then. Okay. Jesus, 30 minutes for 6 cars. You better be racy, you boys. There better be a couple of you race. If you all spread out, this is going to be really dull stream. So the rolling start, reverse. Oh no, display all. And there they go. The counter's down, and we're away. Talleyrand leads from Homesick, but no, Talleyrand's backed right out of it. Oh God, Talleyrand, there's only 6 of you. If you're not going to race, this is going to be a real dull affair. And Homesick Alien takes the lead from Big Dan. Oh, maybe it's a random grid or something. Bandit in 3rd. Racer Brown. No, they were in the right places. No, it is right. I think Talleyrand might have been in the wrong place. I don't know. But here they go. Homesick Alien leading the pack, but Big Dan trying to come through, and it's Big Dan in the Rich Energy and Homesick Alien versus each other. Homesick Alien on the medium tyres. Big Dan, Digital Blasphemy gets Big Dan on the medium tyres, and Big Dan also on those mediums. I think everyone has started on the mediums this time. No, Talleyrand's on the softs, and Racer Brown is on the mediums, but he's carrying a bit of damage, and it's Homesick Alien that leads the way here from Digital Blasphemy, and Bandit back up to 3rd. Big Dan slipping down into 4th spot. Bandit saying, that was a great battle. Now I know it again. Last lap had 0 grip, was struggling a lot. So in the first race, Bandit with his podium place had a huge battle with Big Dan. And again, Bandit back into 3rd place behind Homesick Alien, who's leading. Digital Blasphemy in 2nd and Bandit in 3rd. Talleyrand hunting them down with those racing softs on. The only man on the softs, Big Dan, down in 5th on the mediums, just ahead of Racer Brown, who's also on the medium tyre. And Homesick Alien leads the way, and it's a gaggle of Vipers behind him. We'll get on board with Talleyrand as he's got those tyres on, and there'll be a lot of action his way as he tries to get the moves done on a Bandit in his red Viper. He's looking up the inside, late on the brakes there. No, he can't quite do that. So Bandit stays in 3rd spot. Remember, Talleyrand with that grip advantage on Bandit with Big Dan ahead. So Talleyrand in 4th. Bit of action just ahead of him. Let's get out the camera, because it looks like Digital has had a scrape with the wall, lost a bit of momentum, and now Talleyrand and Racer Brown lined up behind him. Bandit already moving up into 2nd place. Talleyrand goes by Digital Blasphemy easy. Definitely must have had a graze with the wall, and that's given Talleyrand the opportunity to get up, and Digi late on the brakes had a little skid on in the middle of the corner, and Racer Brown looking. No, Racer Brown's not quite close enough, but it's Digital Blasphemy who's looking to get back by Talleyrand. Meanwhile, Homesick Alien is not being bothered by anyone. It's a nice drive for him, just keeping it nice and clean, doesn't have to worry about what's happening behind him. And it's a steady drive in the Viper on those medium tyres with Bandit keeping him in check, and Talleyrand on the soft tyre. He's the man who wants to get the moves done, and he's trying to get them done early doors in this race so he can open up the track ahead of him and just pull out a lovely gap, as he's going to be on the slower tyre next time around. I say the slower tyre, Yeah, no, the softs got the fastest lap in the end, but it was Racer Brown holding that fastest lap for a while on the medium tyres. Bandit at the moment is the fastest man on track as they start lap 3, and the cars change direction so quick there, it looks like they're going to fall off the road. Big Dan, whoa, 3 wide coming up here. We've got Talleyrand, Bandit, and Bandit's out wide. He's going to lose the position to Bandit, and to Digi, and Talleyrand through as well. So perfect racing there. Talleyrand up and inside of Bandit. Digi tried, but he couldn't quite do it, and Bandit is back into 3rd spot, keeping Digital Blasphemy, Big Dan, and Racer Brown's fallen behind Big Dan. Was that how it was? I thought Racer Brown was behind Talleyrand. Get on board with Racer Brown, as you see ahead of us. Big Dan and Digital Blasphemy racing it out. Homesick Alien leads the race, but Talleyrand's on those racing soft tyres. He'll be rocking up to the back of the Alien, and there we see Big Dan and Digi trying to defend from each other, and the Bandit left out in the out to dry while he was wide. He's behind Bandit now in 4th. And Big Dan leaving the door open a little bit for Racer Brown. Racer Brown having a sniff at the inside. And yes, beautiful driving, beautiful racing. Homesick Alien then leads the way, but Talleyrand has rocked up to the back like we said he would. And he's investigating the back of that Dodge Viper to see if there's anything doing. He's on the racing softs, remember. He's just gone fastest of everyone, and Talleyrand now has truly got into his swing. Yeah, baby. And he's looking to get some action done on the Alien. The Alien, we've seen him fall apart here with that big spin in the first race, but he makes it through, and Talleyrand following him as there is more battling behind. Digital Blasphemy is in a 3rd spot, not too far behind that battle, but he's pulled away from Big Dan. Bandit has dropped away from everyone. He's had some damage. Oh my geez, what happened to our man Bandit? He was 4th. Oh, he knocked the barrier coming up the hill, and it sent him over the other side of the track, and he re-enters the track back in 6th place, and that's Racer Brown and Big Dan up a position, and Digital Blasphemy with a little bit more breathing space behind him so far. Talleyrand really starting to lay some pressure on Homesick Alien. He's on those racing soft tyres. He's up the inside of him. It doesn't look like Homesick Alien's got the grip. He has. Homesick Alien stays on the inside, and now it's Digital Blasphemy looking to get a move done on Talleyrand, and Talleyrand stands firm and stays where he is. Again, getting a lovely tow from the Alien. The Alien comes across, what camera angle is that? Homesick Alien comes across the inside to try and defend, making Talleyrand go all the way around the outside. Talleyrand, risky move, keeping it very close to the Alien. Now it's 3 wide as they come out of the corner, but Digital Blasphemy not quite there. Talleyrand's trying his hardest, and no, Homesick Alien, defensive gods, keeps it together, and Talleyrand just can't quite get his Viper in the place he wants to get it, and Homesick Alien making Talleyrand do a lot of work. Talleyrand having to take offline, going off the line, which he will be quite dirty options, and it's not helping him get past the Alien on those soft tyres. In fact, it's left him wide open for Digital Blasphemy and Big Dan on board with Big Dan. As we chase down Homesick, Talleyrand and Digital Blasphemy, Racer Brown. Oh no, we ain't got a rear view camera with this one. Racer Brown and Bandit not far behind through this section, and whoa, Digital Blasphemy has to slow down, and so does the Alien. I think the Alien's had to have a massive lift in that corner. Oh my gosh. So Homesick Alien staying ahead of that whole gaggle of cars. As we see, we've jumped back 20 seconds, and he's coming along the straight, giving up the tow to Talleyrand. He doesn't pull over to the inside this time. It's not going to go defensive. He feels Talleyrand He's a little too far behind, and he goes into the corner very fast, changes direction. Everything so far so good. Takes a whole lot of grass on that one, and yeah, he has to come out of it. He had to come out of it. Went a little bit wide. If he'd accelerated on the grass, he would have been around, so he had to lift and coast, and that gave Talleyrand and Digital Blasphemy the survives, maybe loses 2 places, but it could be a lot worse. Could have been facing the wrong way, and Homesick Alien doing what he needs to do to get round. Big Dan then in 4th. Racer Brown not making any action in this race. He's got some damage, so Racer Brown having a horrific second race. Big Dan got a little out of shape coming out of that corner, I think. A nudge on the barrier, and that gives Racer Brown the opportunity to flash his headlights and get on through. There he is. Beautiful stuff from Racer Brown to get up ahead of Big Dan. We are 9 minutes into this race nearly, and there's been a huge amount of action. Big Dan then down in 5th, and Bandit still don't count him out. Remember, he was keeping his head down in the first race, and then in the end there he came through to finish in 3rd. But at the moment, Talleyrand on those racing softs is doing a super job, with Digital Blasphemy in 2nd, Homesick Alien in 3rd, Racer Brown 4th. After that move on Big Dan, and Homesick Alien then losing 2 positions. And how will he deal with that? Another scrape with the barrier, but it sometimes stops that back end spinning out. Dare I take a wine gum? I never learn. Oh my God. There's a mother-son combo cooking dinner in the kitchen, and it sounds horrific. I'm so pleased I'm not in there. I'm hearing a lot of I know. So I'm just staying calm outside. Right then. So we're on board with Homesick Alien as he tries to close the gap between the battling Digital Blasphemy and Talleyrand. Out there in the lead. We're going to go and have a look, because they're starting to get away from Homesick Alien now. We're not quite seeing them. So is it Talleyrand? Will he learn his lesson this time? Or will he take those tyres right till the end of their death? And yeah, I mean, Digital Blasphemy's going for a move now in the toe. We saw Racer Brown try this many times, and Talleyrand, it didn't bother him. He just sort of sat there and managed to get the move done back. But this one, I think his tyres probably too dead, too hard done by, and it's Digital Blasphemy moving up into 1st place. And Talleyrand, though, he's having a last ditch look up the inside, but no, I don't think he's got the grip to get it done. Homesick Alien slipping back to the Brown. Racer Brown's lap time's not amazing, 52, 53, and 54, 53 for Homesick Alien. And he's not dropped away from Talleyrand's tyres, I think, have gone. Because now Digital Blasphemy is easy pulling away in the Rizzler Viper. There's Talleyrand in 2nd, Homesick Alien in 3rd, Racer Brown in 4th, looking for a podium. Big Dan in 5th place, with Bandit in 6th. And I must say, these Vipers look absolutely delicious. Oh, we got more chat. Sorry, I saw it was Racer Brown was the last person who chatted, so I thought that was it. Let's see where we was up to. Oh no, it's just Racer Brown saying I was being strategic in this race. There you go. And that's why Racer Brown having a quiet one. In 4th place, he's saving fuel, he's looking after tyres, he's being strategic. Digital Blasphemy is flooring it now. Half a tank, he's disappeared from this gaggle of Vipers. And it's a Viper's nest down here in 2nd and 3rd. Homesick Alien goes up into 2nd. Racer Talleyrand just doesn't... Oh, it's that rear right wheel again for Talleyrand. And he doesn't want to be spinning around in every corner. So I think he's taking it relatively easy. As Racer Brown then gets the move out of the toe done on Homesick Alien. So Racer Brown moves up into second, and there you go. Talleyrand with that rear wheel just does not want to grip into the corner, and he's lost a position to Big Dan. It's only Bandit left on the road, and Bandit has dropped away from the field somewhat. Is he fuel saving? Is he trying to? He won't be able to get to the end of the race on those tyres, I tell ye. We're only at 13 minutes of racing this 30-minute race, and although his tyres do look okay and he's got half a tank of fuel, it's not going to see him all the way till the end. Digital Blasphemy, and there goes Big Dan. Big Dan's decided this is the time, but he's not going to get a soft set of tyres to last the whole race, as Talleyrand hasn't even made him last 13 minutes. So Big Dan, I don't know what choice of tyres he's going to go for. If he's going to go for softs, that's a tricky stuff. But he's used his mediums as well, hasn't he? So Digital Blasphemy so far half used his mediums when Big Dan has absolutely wrecked his. Racer Brown, he's only half used them, and he's chasing after Digital Blasphemy now, but Digital Blasphemy has got a fair bit of space. Homesick Alien seems to have dropped away from Racer Brown at this point. And I don't know if everyone's just being a little strategic with their fuel. Bandit as well has moved up ahead of Big Dan. Big Dan comes out on another set of mediums. There you go. I thought soft tyres would be a big ask, and Talleyrand has put a set of mediums on, and he is out. And is that for the rest of the race? I assume so. 3/4 of a tank. 16 minutes of racing to go, and Big Dan with a new set of mediums and 3/4 of a tank in the Rich Energy Viper. It looks delicious. So Digital Blasphemy, winner of the first race, I believe, and he's looking very strong to get this race done as well, with Racer Brown in second spot, Homesick Alien in third, Bandit somewhat a little bit behind. I thought he dropped off a lot, but you know, he's not that far behind the Alien, and he's doing a great strategy. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Big Dan in fifth with Talleyrand in sixth. Talleyrand just recently pitted, putting the medium tyres on. I like Big Dan, but Talleyrand had a spin on his in-lap, and lost a few places that he's going to have to try and make up before the end of the race. Digital Blasphemy, we saw in the first race, took it quite late, took a long time. He was one of the last to pit, and maybe that's what Racer Brown is trying to cover off, go with him all the way. Racer Brown getting the fastest lap. Oh, we saw the front end of his car lift a little there, and he still managed to get that car into the corner. It's delicious. And he's not that far behind Digi. Digi doing a 52.7 last time around, and Racer Brown doing a 51.7. And if it weren't for the tyres, these guys could definitely get that fuel all the way to the end. And Racer Brown taking the race to Digital Blasphemy. Homesick Alien looks like he's starting to struggle with the tyres, and he might not be too far away from a pit stop as he sees the two ahead of him disappearing up the road. Bandit in fourth spot, and his tyres starting to look like a worse for wear, pretty worse for wear. And he's got Big Dan with a fresh set of mediums trying to catch him up, and Talleyrand just behind Big Dan. So it's all between Racer Brown and Digital Blasphemy, sat on board with Mr. Brown. And he said he was trying to be a little more strategic in this race, and he seems to have done a cracking job matching Digital Blasphemy for tyre and fuel consumption, and now catching up with Digital Blasphemy. And I imagine all he's got to do is wait for Digi to go in and follow him in, and it keeps it all even Stevens out front there. They've both got to use the soft tyre. Homesick Alien third, Bandit in fourth, Big Dan fifth, Talleyrand in sixth. Big Dan and Talleyrand both pitting. Bandit's gone in now. Bandit's gone in. Where do that leave him? Where will that put him out? In respect, he did get past Talleyrand when Talleyrand spun out, but I think he was behind Big Dan on the track. I'm not sure, I can't remember that far back. But yeah, no, I don't want that. So as we watch Racer Brown closing the gap to Digital Blasphemy. Digital Blasphemy at 53.3 last time around. Racer Brown at 51.8. He's definitely a little bit faster, but they're both chewing through those tyres now. Homesick Alien, you can see every time we get to him, it looks like he's snaking. Bandit has come out of the pits on the soft tyres behind Talleyrand, but he's on the soft tyre, and he should be able to catch Big Dan and Talleyrand as they make their way around. We'll see, but Bandit on the racing soft tyre, and he's fancying his luck here on catching up those medium tired drivers without burning out them softs. Digital Blasphemy is keeping it honest with Racer Brown. Look at them, nothing between the two of them as they take this race to the max. We are assuming Homesick Alien's going to come in on this lap. He's got no meat on his tyres. There is no grip out there whatsoever for the Alien driver, and we're just hanging around to see how quickly he can spin. But it looks like he's got it controlled, and there's the pit lane now, and he's got fully red front right tyre. Digi's come in, and Racer Brown's followed him in. They both have three rough tyres, and Homesick, there you go. He was right there, right near the pit lane. Big Dan's coming around, and Homesick Alien gets going again, and two tyres on his right hand side are all burnt out, and Big Dan comes up to the corner on his fresh set of racing mediums, and he's going to jump the lot of them. Is he going to jump the lot of them? Racer Brown and Digi should get out, shouldn't they? They're not going to take a lot of fuel on. There he goes. Racer Brown has got the new boots on, and he's gone for another set of mediums. Digital Blasphemy, he's gone for a set of softs. Interesting. No, it is softs for Racer Brown, softs for Digital Blasphemy. Big Dan on the mediums. He's just got to hope that they burn their softs out. And he's jumped the Alien. Homesick Alien only just getting new boots on, and Talleyrand might have jumped Homesick Alien as well. I don't know. Where is it? Oh my God, he's there. He's topping up with fuel. He did burn through his fuel more than Racer Brown and Digital Blasphemy. They've released the Alien, but I think he's going to be behind Bandit, and Homesick Alien's got it all to do for the last 11 minutes, not even 11 minutes, 10 minutes of this race. He's dead last. Racer Brown is first. He jumped Digital Blasphemy in the pits, and it's a fight on between the two of them. And we saw Big Dan now up into third place with those medium tyres, but I mean the softs, they're not going to run out in 10 minutes, are they? We saw someone out with them, Talleyrand. After 13 minutes, they were pretty screwed, but 10 minutes, I think these guys are going to be fine. Big Dan on those medium tyres with Talleyrand trying to catch him up, but Talleyrand unable to. 52.4 last time around from Talleyrand. Big Dan doing a 52.8. He's matching times. They're matching times. And that means Talleyrand needs Big Dan to make a mistake, and Big Dan, happy with that podium, is not going to mess this one up. But Bandit, meanwhile, he's just come out of the pits with a set of soft tyres on, and Talleyrand ahead of him on the mediums. Bandit might fancy his chances about going up against the boss on a set of medium tyres. This is interesting. And just behind them, we've got Homesick Alien, also, I believe, on a set of softs, looking to get some scalps before the end of this race. Racer Brown, what a gap between himself and Digital Blasphemy, and he definitely out-strategied Digital Blasphemy in this race. I don't know, they came in the pits pretty much the same time, and maybe Digi's fuel was a bit, he had to put a bit more fuel in than Racer Brown possibly. But Racer Brown looking set to have taken this win away from Digital Blasphemy. It looked like it was all in Digital Blasphemy's hands, with Big Dan there in third spot, and Talleyrand in fourth. After his spin, you thought he'd lost too much ground, but he somehow got ahead of Bandit. But Bandit getting the fastest lap of the race of 51.007. Wow. Is chasing down Talleyrand with a great ferocity. And Talleyrand could be a sitting duck there with the medium tyres, with Bandit on the softs. There's not much you can do when you're on two totally different tyre compounds racing for the same piece of asphalt. And Talleyrand may have to concede that fourth spot for Bandit. Big Dan Holding on to that podium. Do we risk another wine gum? Why not? I reckon I can get away with it. I don't think it's annoying at all. It's Skyjacker that doesn't like me eating. He's the one who moaned about it. Bring it up with him on the pit stop later. Yummy. So, Bandit. I tell you what, wine gums are cracking. We're on board with Bandit, trying to chase down at Talleyrand. And Racer Brown saying, I didn't have to fill up. I think Digi did. There you go. That's it. He saved more fuel than Digital Blasphemy. And yeah, Bandit is definitely closing in on Talleyrand. Look at that. They're virtually there. He does a 51-1 with Talleyrand doing a 52-1. So a second apart in lap times. Bandit looking for that 4th place. We've got 6.5 minutes left of racing. How's it looking up front? Racer Brown a 49.9. Unbelievable lap time. That was similar, I think, to what Digital Blasphemy pulled in the first race. And Racer Brown leaving Digital Blasphemy for dead. Absolutely out there. Big Dan looking okay for a podium. And we're not sure, because he's got Talleyrand. Oh no, Talleyrand has been caught by Bandit. Bandit is going for it. He's got the moves like Jagger. And if they stumble over each other too much, they've got Homesick Alien trying to catch them up in the distance behind. So they can't stumble too much around each other. I want to close bloody Discord. I keep reading things and it puts me off. Reading Pat talking about American football. Don't know what the fascination is, Pat. It's all show. It's like they're wrestling. They're just pretending. So a Bandit is hunting himself a Talleyrand, but it's not quite getting it done. So we're going to have a look around. Homesick Alien would love it if we could beat them. We'd love it if they come here and we could beat them. He's trying to catch up Bandit and Talleyrand as they stumble over each other on track. Is the closest fight we've got on the track at the moment. Big Dan comfortable in his podium. And we're keeping an eye on the Rich Energy Viper. The tyres are looking a little worn at the front there. A little wiggle over the top of the hill. It's not done and dusted for the Ensign yet. Digital Blasphemy, is he gaining on the Brown? A 50.5 last time for Digi. Racer Brown a 52.3, so Racer Brown has given away a bit of time to Digital Blasphemy, and Digital Blasphemy has a little more fuel than Racer Brown. And we've got some 4 minutes left of racing, and I thought it was getting dark, but it's the tunnel. I do think it's getting darker though. I think the sun's going long, as they say. And Digital Blasphemy, as the track cools down, this might play in what's the skidding? It was Digital Blasphemy, but he's all right. Big Dan in his podium is sitting happily in third. It doesn't look like Talleyrand and Bandit are catching him any, because they're racing each other, and it's getting darker by the second out there. The lights are on, and with the cooler track, I think it might go against the people with more tyre wear. I think those with more tyre wear might struggle more than the guys that have got some tyre wear. So Homesick Alien, it might come to him at the end of the race here as the sun goes down. He's pushing like a maniac, as you can see, sliding his Dodge Viper here, there and everywhere. On board with him. He can't see another car, and that really does. And if he doesn't see he's in first and he can't see another car, that disturbs him. It disturbs everything about him, and he's worried that the mothership will beam him back up if he doesn't keep winning races. That's his mission on this planet. The Homesick Alien is to just keep on winning races, and if he cannot win those races, he's going to get taken back up to the ship. And Racer Brown, meanwhile, 49.4. By God, that's fast. And Digital Blasphemy's hit the wall. Did he? Look like he hit the wall, but maybe not. Maybe it was just a bit of bad code, net code, whatever they call it. He did a 49.6 last time around, so he's putting everything he's got into it. Big Dan, his tyres are looking scary with still 2 minutes left to go. So another lap after this one would assume, maybe not. Yeah, I think there's going to be another a lap after this. And Big Dan's tyres are looking well sketchy. They're well sketchy, they are, mate. Your tyres are well sketchy. Do you know that? Do you know your tyres are rate sketchy? So Talleyrand's comfortable with his tyres. Seems to have lost the Bandit problem now. Bandit's tyres also looking rate sketchy. Your tyres are well sketchy, bro. Hey, fam, your tyres are well scratchy. They're well sketchy. You got to watch them, mate. And the Homesick Alien, his tyres are looking okay, but he's too far behind to make any kind of impact. I think he's just going for good lap times at the moment. Racer Brown comes to the line, and there's a minute and a half left on the clock. He's through on starting his final lap. Digital Blasphemy crossing the line also, and he's a big distance from Racer Brown. I don't think there's anything he can do in this race now to change events ahead of him. Big Dan crosses the line with one more lap to go, and those tyres don't look like they can do another lap. And he's got Talleyrand chasing him down, going very fast, and Bandit not too far behind. Talleyrand and Homesick Alien gets to cross the line. His fuel's flashing, but he should have another lap in him. And it's down to Bandit's tyre wear, isn't it? Bandit's tyre wear looking awful. And he's got Homesick Alien chasing him, who's got better tyre wear. 52.3 for Bandit last time around, and a 50.7 for Homesick Alien. Racer Brown looking quite comfy. His fuel is flashing, but he's got such a good distance. He can short shift just this lap alone and easily get back to the checkered flag. Digital Blasphemy, he just burnt through the fuel a little more in the first sector of this race, the first half of this race, and that is what gave Racer Brown the opportunity to get ahead of him out of the pits and disappear into the distance. Big Dan looking like he is got a podium, and we're not sure though. We don't want to start celebrating too early with Talleyrand chasing him down. And the leaders are into the final corners as everything is illuminated here at Trial Mountain. And there you see Racer Brown going towards the checkered flag for another win to his tally. And that's great stuff from Racer Brown as Digital Blasphemy follows up his win from the first race with a great second spot. And it's Big Dan who's going to be on the podium, and he's done a superb job in the rich energy, and Talleyrand did catch him up near the end there, but it's just a little too late as a Big Dan take a boo. Oh, son! Big Dan goes across the line in third. Talleyrand grabs himself fourth. Bandit, not far behind Talleyrand in the end, gets himself fifth, and Homesick Alien right in the mix as well for sixth. Superb stuff by all. Great racing for the Viper Festival. You've got to say, and it's nothing to do with me, I'm not biased. I am biased because I love VRC, but I don't have anything to do with these races. I don't have anything with them, putting them together or anything like that. So it's now to do with me. They're really good, you know. Always great racing. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't want to... I don't know. They're just amazing. They're just really good races. So, yes. Another win from the VRC boys. And if they put that... in a championship order, a 10-round championship, it will work. It's amazing. So they've got themselves a little corker on their hands there. And I don't think there's anything else to tell you. Tuesday night, I believe, is postponed for Valentine's Day, because we are the lovers as well. Not only racers, but we love to love in the VRC. So there is no racing on Tuesday. Thursday, we're at Suzuka with the WRX Challenge. Join us there. Friday night, something new's beginning, but it's not live streamed, so you'll catch that sometime over the weekend. It is the Stock Car Championship, and it's going to be an absolute cracker. I was your broadcaster and your commentator, Pat McGroin. Thank you for joining us here at the Virtual Racers Club. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And in the about area of YouTube that you should be watching this on is all our links, so you can catch our OnlyFans and all of that sort of stuff. And yeah, come and join us on the webcam. I do this special move with my leg. Thank you very much. Did I say I was? Yeah, Pat McGroin. Thank you for joining us. Peace and love. Peace and love. I see dead people.